Hello, my name is Ilona and today is Monday, May 20th, 2024. Let's see, there are a few things I wanted to take a look at, and of course I already looked at it in the Dutch video, so I've got my card in front of me. And the first thing I wanted to talk about, this is an article, this is just ridiculous news, but it is apparently happening. Turns out, this is an article from peterswedensubstack.com. Turns out there's now a company called Archaeobio that is making a sting for cows, and the goal is to stop the cows from farting and burping. So this is an anti-fart stings for cows. And none other than Bill Gates is investing in this. This was through his investment fund called Breakthrough Energy Ventures, which gave a whopping $12 million to fund this cow sting. Why not? Why not just invest in that? To me, this feels very much like white hats because it's so stupid. But anyway, I'm glad to know that Billy is really putting his money where his mouth is. Sorry about this. I also looked at something just a short, like 3 cards, because right now here in the Netherlands, of course, there's a new government, but they're still looking for a prime minister, and they had someone they wanted to push, you know, in the lights. Well, at least they wanted to push him on that position, and his name is Plasterk. But right when things were going to get moving, there are now certain allegations against him. So there's a court case now. So it's not looking very good for Plasterk. He also earned a lot of money that had to do with stings. Obviously, there was some kind of company he had, and he sold things that was all connected with a patent, and that has to do with stings. And well, he earned a lot of money with that. And there were some things that were not completely correct. So this is now all coming out, interestingly enough. And I just wanted to take a look whether he's actually going to be prime minister here or not. I'm not sure about that. I'm not even that interested in that as well, because we still have all these puppets running around here in the Netherlands. So to me, it's a bit whatever, but I just wanted to take a look. Well, the first card I got was the King of Wands. So this is a whitehead operation. We've got the 10 of Swords, so it is very likely, although we'll have to say that he's probably going to be like removed from the stage right now. And we have the Magician, so this is all about manipulation, changing things. So I have a feeling that he's most likely not going to be prime minister here, although we just don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But this is very interesting, and this has white hats written all over it. Of course, it depends on your perspective. That's how I see it, especially with these cards. This was done purposely, especially now when they're trying to find the prime minister, and it's just a very sad situation right now. It's just a mess, to be very honest. He also, that's very interesting here, you can just now see all these political games. Well, apparently he said something against one of the other parties involved. You know, we have now 4 parties, and one of them is led by Omtzigt. It's also a name connected to, of course, what happened with all these, well, the tax scandal here in the Netherlands, and awful things have happened. But Omtzigt apparently wanted him to apologize publicly to him. So Plasterk actually wrote a letter that it was published in like the media to apologize, so he would have a chance to become prime minister. Just that idea, how childish this is. It's really showing people, and it wouldn't surprise me if that was a whitehead action as well, because it was just getting ridiculous. Not just from Plasterk, but also showing Omtzigt, and it's just a ridiculous idea. But I'm not sure if he's going to be. The feeling I'm getting is probably not, but we'll have to wait and see. I don't think he's going to last very long if he is going to become prime minister, but we'll have to wait and see all these puppets here. The other thing, obviously, I wanted to take a look at was Iran. The chopper that came down with the president and I believe the Minister of Foreign Affairs. It's just, of course, wanted to take a look at that. I found some messages about this that had to do with the former president before Raisi, who, of course, went down with the chopper, and that was Rouhani. And apparently in 2018, he fired the head of the Iran Central Bank And he also took care of the deputy central bank governor and some foreign exchange dealers who he claims were corrupt. And this most likely had to do, of course, with that deal that was going on. And of course, he was changed then, or replaced then, with Raisi. So it seems that Rouhani went after the bankers who were helping to launder the money from the deal between the USA and Iran. That's what this is all about. He was driven out of power and Raisi took control. So now something changed back, obviously. There are also some messages from, of course, the 17th letter of the alphabet concerning this. It's very interesting to see. So I just wanted to look at the energy of what happened now, of course, with the chopper. They also already came out, Iran, saying that this is not going to affect anything of how they, the direction they have taken and their stance political, because really Ayatollah is the one truly in control. The president is really just following along, so to speak. So it's interesting to see, but I just wanted to take a look at the energy. If this is going to be used, of course, for the Third World War, it will, at least to me, it will seem like there's going to be a Third World War. I don't think it's going to get that far, but it's just wanted to. What is the energy behind this? Well, we have the 8 of Wands, so a lot of movement, a lot of things are going to happen. Central card is the Judgment card. To me, this is the Great Awakening card. So this was all part of this plan that needed to be put into motion. I do think it's one of the events necessary. We've got the Page of Pentacles in the past. Then we have the 3 of Swords underneath the Judgment card. So a lot of old pain needs to come up, at least needs to, but it needs to be healed, it needs to be shown. So I think this is going to be used for all kinds of things, because we have the 5 of Swords and the Knight of Cups. So this is an opportunity given, but it's going to be a very grim atmosphere, power play. So I do think this is going to be used in all kinds of ways to create like this very grim atmosphere that is already happening, obviously, in the Middle East. Between, of course, Israel and Iran, what of course happened with, between them. They're trying to escalate things. I do think it could be used, but this is part of the Great Awakening, so I do think it's possible that this will be one of the things used to create this massive, Third World War that will seem to start. I don't think it's going to happen. It really, truly is going to happen, but it will seem like it. It will, of course, put things in motion, but I do believe this is all part of that plan. But it's going to be a very grim atmosphere, and I do think it's going to be used in all kinds of ways, but I believe it is part of the greater plan. This was all purposely put into motion. So that's what the feeling I'm getting with this entire energy concerning what happened with the chopper coming down in Iran, and this will be used. This is all part of, and like I said, let's see, of course, how you see things and what's your perspective on this. To me, it feels like this is necessary to put things into motion. So the other thing I wanted to take a look at is the week ahead. And this is the energy for the week ahead. Well, there's going to be a lot of confusion. We have the 7 of Cups. But we also have the Knight of Wands and we have the King of Swords. Again, a lot of manipulation, also from the dark energies, but also from the white heads. And it's going to be very confusing where this is all going. To me, it seems to me less and less confusing. But then again, that is my perspective. Of course, see what is your perspective. I believe we're going to see more and more white hat movements. It's going to be more in the open, but we still have a lot of misinformation going on, and it's very important not to get completely dragged into this, because it can get very, very confusing. With the 7 of Cups, I do believe that we are really at the height of the information war, and all kinds of things are being thrown around, and what we see may not be completely what is going on. So this is going to be a very confusing week ahead of us, a very confusing week. And the advice for this week is the Ace of Swords. We've got the Knight of Pentacles and again the Moon, which is of course a very interesting card. Nothing is what it seems. Follow your own truth. What is true for you? Follow that. So don't get wrong card. Don't get confused. The Knight of Pentacles is someone who looks at things first, doesn't jump into action, is not impulsive, really sees things for what is going on, what do I need to do here, and then takes a step, follow his own path. because nothing is what it seems, and it's going to get very confusing. That's the feeling I'm getting. It's going to get very confusing, like I've mentioned, with everything that's going on, and that's so important to follow your own intuition. Even there was something I wanted to talk about. I've also mentioned this in my Dutch video. That was about Cuba, and there was an article. This was on an international channel on Telegram, mentioning that apparently the people in Cuba woke up and couldn't access their bank accounts anymore. There was no cash, apparently. The digital currency taken over. And they couldn't buy food anymore, and they were worried. It was a very fearful message. So I looked into the article that was attached to this, and I was reading it, and it was really just, there was a shortage of cash, but it didn't have to, it didn't have anything to do with digitalization. They tried to digitalize things, but that wasn't working. People in Cuba and all the companies there just wanted to keep paying in cash. So that kind of failed. But there was a shortage of cash because of all these companies hoarding the cash and then waiting to bring it back to the banks, or maybe exchange it for an foreign currency. So they took their time in that. So the bank they didn't have enough money. So you kind of have to travel from bank, you had to kind of go through different offices, bank offices, to get some money, but you were still capable of getting money, and it didn't have anything to do with the digitalization. It just meant that a lot of companies kept all that cash money and weren't returning it back to the bank, so they're kind of running out of it. I'm not saying it's not a serious situation, but what was mentioned in the article, at least in the message, wasn't what was in the article. So even in the independent media, follow your own truth. Also with what I'm saying, follow your own truth, because that's your compass. That's so important. Follow your own path, make your own path. What do you want to, put your energy in, because nothing is what it seems. So I thought that was interesting. I also wanted to mention that in this video, that is also going on. So there's still cash in Cuba, but there is unfortunately a shortage, but people are still capable of buying their breads and things like that. But in the digitalization, they tried it, but it's not working out there. People want cash money there. So this is the advice for the coming week. I also wanted to mention that this week I will just follow my normal schedule, and next week, so that's from May 27 to I think June 2nd, if I'm not mistaken, Sunday, I'm just going to take some time off because my sleeping schedule is awful, and again, I haven't slept for a couple of nights, not a lot, so I'm quite exhausted. I really needed to just unplug and hopefully get my schedule going again. This week I will just follow my normal schedule, but next week I'm just going to take some time off to hopefully take care of myself. So I'm just going to mention this ahead of time so that you are not looking to next week and like, where is she, what's going on? That's the reason behind it. So I'm just going to unplug for a week again. I want to leave it at this, and I hope to see you in another video. Bye.